A message to Tehran delivered by Riyadh. 3 non-negotiable demands from Trump, or no seat at the table. Iran calls them preliminaries for our destruction. If the peace offer arrives wearing a threat, is it really diplomacy or the opening move of the next war? A senior Iranian parliamentarian dropped a bombshell on December 1st, claiming that US President Donald Trump had sent a message to Tehran through none other than Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The message? 3 non-negotiable conditions if Iran wants to even think about sitting down at the negotiating table. However, Mojtaba Zolnuri said in an interview with state media on December 1st.
The United States and Trump through bin Salman have set 3 conditions for continuing negotiations and reaching an agreement with Iran, none of which are logical.
His remarks, however, completely contradict Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei's statement on November 27th, where he outrightly rejected reports that Tehran had sought Saudi Arabia's assistance as an intermediary in back-channel talks with the United States. The US has long insisted that Iran must completely halt its uranium enrichment program, stop supporting its armed allies in the Middle East, and accept restrictions on its ballistic missile program. Tehran rejects the conditions as a non-starter for any talks.
These are preliminaries for our destruction, and it is obvious we will not accept them. Whenever they enter negotiations in the true sense give and take, and prove they are acting in good faith, we have no problem. If they clip our wings in the region, they will dominate us much sooner. You stop supporting Israel, then Israel will collapse on its own, and we won't need to support any movement called the resistance. What logic is there in telling us to shut down our missile program or limit the range to only 300 kilometers?
While Zolnuri was making waves with his claims, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi was having his own conversation on December 1st with his Japanese counterpart Toshimitsu Motegi. Araghchi made it clear that the ball is in America's court. If the United States wants Iran to trust the diplomatic process again, Washington needs to prove it's serious. Also, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said the United States now constitutes the single largest threat to global peace and security, pointing to a pattern of using unilateral force and coercion. Esmail Bakai told reporters at a press conference in Tehran on December 1st that the United States was openly employing naked force in its ongoing campaign against the government of Venezuela, citing Washington's unilateral imposition of a no-fly zone over the Latin American country, a measure he described as unprecedented in modern diplomacy. Ismail Baghi.
The reality is that the United States has turned into the biggest threat against international peace and security.
Meanwhile, a new report by the Institute for Science and International Security finds that despite the destruction of much of the Islamic Republic's nuclear infrastructure in the 12-day war, there are clear signs of targeted reconstruction and reinforced security at key remaining sites, particularly Kohi Kalang and Talagan 2. The full report, drawing on satellite imagery, intelligence released by security agencies, including the Israeli Army and International Atomic Energy Agency findings, concludes that Iran is attempting to preserve and restore sensitive nuclear capabilities, with continued activity at very deep sites in Koh Kalang. It highlights the construction of a cylindrical containment chamber for high explosives at Talagan 2, similar to structures used in nuclear weapons development. This widespread cleanup and equipment recovery across militarization-linked sites signal either preparation for reconstruction or concealment efforts. The report notes the installation of cruise missile escape barriers in tunnels at the Isfahan complex, assessed as the most likely storage location for highly valuable nuclear equipment or 60% enriched uranium.